We're back with a new video for you.
It's another week.
I am Eric, and this is
Jade, and we are Paranormal Partners.
For the second time, as we always repeat. So, as you know, we just go over spooky tales. This week is about Filipino...
Yeah, I've been still trying to think of a title.
Filipino...
Is it Filipino?
No, it's Filipino. Filipino monsters.
Filipino monsters.
Monsters of the Philippines.
Yes.
Why? Geez, I really was.
There's absolutely no reason why.
Everyone does the same stuff. Everyone on these podcasts. Not trying to diss everyone. We love all your podcasts. It's great. But no one is like. Everyone's like. So on this week's episode, vampire,
Bigfoot, aliens,
soup.
Yeah, it's basically like soup. It's kind of boring. Good, but not like. No, their soup is flavorful. Good, but not
hearty.
No. Hearty is definitely a soup descriptor.
You don't need to go into this.
You know what I mean. You know what we mean.
I don't know what you mean, and I don't want to.
Well, okay, so anyway, I was actually trying to think of a cryptid creature we could do, because we haven't done cryptid creatures for a while. And then I got this bright idea to make a whole, like, segment, almost, like,
Tales of the Darkness.
Yeah, exactly what he said. We're going to have episodes that are cryptid creature focus and, wait, not cryptid, crypto creature.
It's cryptid, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's going to be mythical creatures, and it's going to be called Tales of the Darkness, as Eric so nicely explained. And it's tales spelled Tails, because they're creatures. Oh my god, we're so creative. Okay,
all right.
Let's just go ahead and start.
Wait, let's hop into our lives first.
Oh yeah.
There's no updates, people.
No,
I'm kidding. We talked about our anniversary last time.
We went to the pumpkin patch.
Oh, we met Valak.
Wait, we said
talked about that.
Okay, there really is nothing that's happened in our lives.
It sounded like the faucet turned on by itself today.
Oh, yeah. Like, just an hour before we were about to start this podcast, actually. Because, you know
when I was taking notes.
If you are just now tuning in with us,
our house is haunted. Listen to the earlier episodes and you'll hear the stories of how haunted our house is.
Yes. But long story short, we've been having our water turn on by itself, and we totally heard the sounds of, like, faucets turning on, like, 2 or 3 times tonight. But none of the faucets were on, so it was really creepy. So yeah, that's still going on. Our poltergeist is still present, but
updates personal life. I evolved my Magikarp. It was 207 CP, and it turned out to be 2779.
Yeah,
pretty strong. I evolved my Ryulu into a Lucario, and my Torchic into a Blaziken. So it's been a good week.
And my data's not working, so I haven't done anything on Pokemon Go this week.
She said data, not her father.
Data.
It sounded like
my data?
My dad's not working, so I didn't do anything this week. Okay, well, let's just hop right into it, team.
Okay, I am going to hopefully not butcher my creature's name, but it's kind of a challenging name. I put it in the Google say this word the way it's supposed to be said translator, and it's called the manananggal. Yeah. So the manananggal is a sighted creature of the Philippines, an evil man-eating and blood-sucking monster.
Jeez.
It's often.
Here, wait. Here's the Google version.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
No. Oh, there's an L at the end, not a K.
Oh.
Yeah. Manananggal.
Manananggal.
Play it one more time. Manananggal. Okay. The manananggal. So, yeah, it's often described, or it's similar to a vampire, except it has a very creepy superpower, if you want to call it that.
Let's hear it.
It is described as a hideous, scary, usually female, and it is capable of severing its upper torso and sprouting huge bat-like wings to fly into the night in search of its victims. So
this is the thing about, like, the Philippines is, like in Europe, it's like, oh, there's a witch. It's just an ugly woman who can cast spells. Or it's like, the werewolf, it's a hairy man with claws. But in Philippines, it's just like, yeah, it's a baby who vomits its liver out, and then the liver sprouts wings and teeth, and then it bites people's necks.
I mean, low-key, yeah. It's pretty creepy, but also kind of funny.
Which is crazy.
I actually laughed when I read some of these things, and you're like, what? The other night when I was doing the research, and you're like, what is it?
I was so wanting to hear about that.
Yeah, so I'll just get on with it. So it severs its upper body from its lower body, and its upper body grows wings. The word comes from the Filipino word tanggal, which means to remove or to separate.
Oh, gosh.
So its name literally translates to remover or separator.
It says one who separates itself.
Yeah, one who separates itself.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, so the name also originates from an expression used for a severed... I already said that. Okay, sorry. So it is said that the manananggal mostly preys on sleeping pregnant women, using an elonged proboscis-like tongue to suck the hearts of fetuses or the blood of someone who is sleeping.
My monster is unbelievably similar.
Yeah, I know, actually. It says it often gets confused with your monster.
Ours are very similar.
But they're different, so don't get them confused. So mine, it just uses its little bendy straw tongue. Kind of like a butterfly, actually. That's what I think of.
That's what I think, too. I mean, there's not really many animals that have a proboscis.
Is that how you say it? Proboscis?
I don't know.
I just know what you mean.
Proboscis? Probisquic?
I don't know. Straw. Straw is an easier word. So... if you're going to go after this thing, this is why I was laughing, because the severed lower torso just is left standing in the spot. It doesn't move.
That's like in Call of Duty when you call in a drone strike, and it's just a character's body that's just like...
That's exactly what it is.
And then the drone is flying around as the character.
The lower body just stays there, and the upper body just sprouts wings and flies away. So, yeah, that's why I was laughing. So, it's said to be that the lower body is more vulnerable, obviously. Definitely. And so the way that you kill it is by sprinkling salt or smearing crushed garlic or ash on top of the standing torso.
Oh, gosh.
It's fatal to the creature.
Jeez.
So, you put a little salt and a little paprika.
Little garlic.
Or, sorry, crushed garlic, yeah. Paprika. And, so you just season the crap out of that thing and it dies. So...
That's the noise it makes.
The interesting thing about the manananggal is that it shares a lot of features with vampires, like I was saying, which the dislike of garlic, for one, because you supposedly kill vampires with garlic.
Supposedly.
And it's said that they have a vulnerability to sunlight, so they only appear at nighttime. I don't know what happens to them during the day, honestly. I don't think anybody knows. But they come out at nighttime, and if the severed body that is just left standing there, if the top doesn't get back to the bottom before the sun comes up, it dies.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Also, quick shout out liquids.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, I've been drinking a lot this episode. I'm just kind of thirsty. I'm trying to be quiet and considerate. I'm trying not to bump the table or anything.
Yeah. I'm drinking too. It's basically water.
Okay.
It's only 5% alcohol. It's pretty good. Anyway, gotta hydrate. So they're the manananggal. There are.
Huh.
I'm just looking for my place. So they're also known to avoid daggers, light, vinegar, spices, and this one made me laugh so hard. The tail of a stingray. Steve Irwin, the crocodile.
Dang it! Mine is the same thing. Mine's vulnerable to the tail of stingray too, and I was gonna freaking make that Steve Irwin joke.
I was literally laughing my butt off when I was reading that last night. So yeah, it's funny.
Steve is homies with the Philippine monsters.
Yeah, they watched it happen.
They're like, oh, yo, Steve.
Yo, Steve.
He a brother.
Damn, gotta stay away from them stingrays. Yeah, so, like I said, it's considered a ghoul or like a demon. I don't actually.
A spirit, I believe.
It says it's a ghoul.
Mine's a spirit.
So ours are different, even though they're very similar.
Yeah, we should have picked a little bit more different ones, but it's interesting because they're like so close, but also kind of different.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So there are quite a few sightings. One thing I thought was really interesting is that the first sighting was before 900 AD, or Common Era, 900 Common Era. And the very last sighting of it was in 2007, according to this website. But they still exist.
Dang.
Wait, when did Steve die? No. Google that right now. Oh my God.
2006.
Conspiracy. They went into hiding after Steve Irwin died September 4th, 2006.
What? And then just one guy got a memo? Didn't get the memo?
I can't come out in the sunlight anymore because I don't want to be seen by the stingrays, man. I'm scared of the stingrays. I'm tweaking.
Holy crap. Bob Ross also died from a stingray.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, what the hell?
He's like, happy little trees. Happy. Who let the stingray in?
He painted a stingray so realistic.
And
it swam off the page.
Now, one of the little features that most people neglect is the barb. There's a sharp barb at the end of.
Yes. Oh, so here's also something that's
and he's holding it. He's like, happy little mistakes.
Everyone's gotta happily die sometime. So mananangals sometimes get called tick-ticks or tick-tick.
So do aswangs.
They're very similar, but they're still different.
Yeah, I think so.
It says aswang is a generic term and can refer to all types of ghouls, mananangals, or witches.
Yeah.
And that mananangals are often popularly referred to as aswangs. Like, I think aswang is a type of ghoul.
I think the way it works is aswangs are the group of monsters that fall into the category. It's a category. So a manananggal is an aswang.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So the same way that yokai have different categories. So
you're right. Sorry, the original site that I was like pulling these from had them listed as two different creatures. Which
I've seen both.
Still think they are, but
I've seen both. I think that aswangs are. I don't know. Let me get into mine in a second, and then.
Okay, I still got a little bit more to share. So like I was saying, they're called tick-ticks because the sound it makes while it's flying. But folklore dictates that the fainter the sound, the nearer the manananggal is, which is creepy.
That's really similar to mine.
They do this to confuse their victim. And often black cats and crows are seen when the tick-tick is around. It's just a signal that their presence is near. And as well as deformed faces or bodies in children are allegedly signs of aftermath of a tick-tick attack.
Jeez, should have had a tic-tac.
Should have had a tick-tick. Shouldn't have had a tick-tick.
Shouldn't have had a tick-tac.
Okay, so I have two encounter stories of some people who have come face to face with the manananggal. Play the sound. Manananggal.
Okay.
Manananggal.
Okay, the first one. Can I read it?
I want to read it.
So the first one is from Duhal, the stingray who killed Steve Irwin.
Oh my God, no. I don't actually know how you say his name, and I feel bad about it. Duhal.
Duhal.
A Filipino who is currently a manager at Beruin, Indonesia. I probably butchered that. But anyway, this is what Dahal said. He said, I had a real experience of seeing this monster. I was a young boy at the time, and our house was in a small barrio, which is like a small town, with only a few neighbors and surrounded with trees. The wife of our neighbor was pregnant at the time, and their house was a small hut with windows that can't be closed, which simply means you can see the stars in their house during nighttime. It was a very noisy midnight that I could not sleep. Our neighbor's dogs kept howling in our backyard. So I tried to check it. By the way, this I'm assuming this person doesn't speak English as their first language, so it's a little rough, but that's my bad for not editing through it. But anyway, so I tried to check it. I slightly opened our window, good enough for my eyes to see everything outside. I am fascinated because the moon was so bright and there was no dogs in our backyard. So I look at our neighbor's house, and there I saw the how-long dogs. But when I looked at the window, I saw something dark floating. It was like a person floating horizontally, facing our neighbor's opened window. I was very scared because it's hard to describe that dark floating thing. Even the surrounding was clear. I closed the window and went straight to my bed, covering myself with my pillow, and slept again. On the next day, I talked to my friend about what happened last night, and I asked him if there was something unusual that happened in their house that night. He said he and his siblings were guarding their mother all the time, and they were aware of the possible attacks of the aswang. I just said that wrong. The possible attacks of the aswang. He told me he stepped something like a hairy tail. He stepped something like a hairy...
He stepped on something like a hairy tail.
He stepped on something like a hairy tail, and then he had thrown garlic into it, and then it suddenly disappeared.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People out in Indonesia be carrying, like, garlic with them.
They have to. Do you know how many vampire creatures are supposedly in the Philippines?
There's a lot.
Like, a lot of them. Manananggal. Make it say aswang. Because I feel like I say it bad. Sounds like something bad. Aswang. So, this one comes from the Aswang Project. There was a manananggal of... Wait, make it say this word. Camiguin Island? Camiguin Island.
Camiguin.
Okay.
Thank you, Camiguin.
So here's my...
From The Simpsons.
My other...
I wasn't trying to, like, make fun of an accent.
Okay. My grandfather was a fisherman in a small province of Camiguin, located in Mindanao, Philippines. That was when the population was so small, the nearest neighbor was half a kilometer away. If you all know, the Philippines have... again, sorry, another person that English isn't their first language, so I'm not very good at reading the writing.
Excuses.
I'm sorry. So the Philippines has many festivals celebrated almost every day in different parts of the country.
That's so cool.
That would be so awesome. Every day's a party!
It's like, oh, you want to go downtown? Today they're celebrating tea.
Oh, this did make me a little sad, though. So that day, the neighboring town was celebrating a fiesta, and they held cockfights where two roosters armed with small, sharp blades battled to death in the arena. When the people put their bets in on one... Oh, while the people put their bets in on one of the roosters. I've heard about this, where they fight roosters, and it makes me so sad, because roosters really will kill each other. You don't even have to give them a small, sharp blade, because they will kill each other with their spurs.
Yeah, they will. They're crazy.
It makes me sad. It's like dog fighting, but
not
roosters. So it is considered one of the favorite pastime activities of Filipinos, and my grandfather was one fanatic of the game. Back then, there were only asphalt roads that led to each city and municipality in the province, and it is mostly built on the seaside. The people who don't own a horse and carriage often pass through the forest mountain, where the route is shorter than using the roads. My grandfather knew all the paths that led to every town in the province. It was his playground when he was still a child. It was already getting dark. Oh, so keep this in mind, that the grandfather grew up here. He knows every road, every part of this town. So it says, it was already getting dark when he decided to go on his way home. He used a torch made from coconut leaves and entered the forest, which made me think about, remember the palm tree that we watched last night? How quickly it went up in flames?
Oh, yeah.
Palm trees are extremely flammable.
Yeah, they're just like a dry bale of hay, basically.
Yeah, it made me think about that. The forest canopy made it darker since the light from the setting sun was blocked by the towering trees. Around the middle of his journey, he heard something. It seemed like someone was walking on the fallen leaves.
Oh, no.
He can hear each step slowly pacing like an old person.
Yeah, this way. Nah, this way.
He tried to locate where the sound was coming from until he reached an unfamiliar part of the forest. So, Ooh. Using his torch, he tried to eliminate the Eliminate the forest. Operation.
Paper.
That's so funny. Operation Paper. So he tried to locate where the sound was coming from until he reached an unfamiliar part of the forest, blah, blah, blah. Using his torch, he tried to illuminate the surrounding area and saw a silhouette of a hut. He called out for anyone who lived there, but no one answered. He went closer to look if someone was actually living there. Is there a hut near?
It's me, Jabba.
Can I get a Pizza Hut?
And we both went awful on that joke.
Wouldn't that be kind of funny, though, if this was just an ad for Pizza Hut and it was like, and thus the first Pizza Hut was formed. He was stuck there for 20 years.
Halloween costume idea,
Nothing but
people.
Dough, pizza sauce, and cheese.
Here's a Halloween idea. Jabba the Hutt, but you're just one big slice of cheese. Pizza.
Whoa.
Dang it.
Whoa.
Jabba the Hutt as a big slice of pizza. And then you can say you're Pizza the Hut.
Pizza the Hut. Hey. Yay. I love that. Where was I? Oh, yeah.
Bring me ham solo.
No thanks. No ham on my pizza. He went closer to look if someone was actually living there, but found no one. So he entered. He knew it was uninhabited when he saw he knew it was inhabited when he saw embers still glowing from the kitchen fire pit. Then he heard the thrashing of leaves outside, now closer and coming from the back of the hut. He went outside to see who was walking, but didn't find anything. He waved his torch up to brighten the area. At the edge of the light, illuminated by the torch, were a pair of bare legs and feet. Its thighs were round, and the skin was so smooth. It glowed as the light shone on it. He greeted goodnight, but the woman didn't respond, so he went closer. As he approached, he noticed that the woman was naked all the way down. He stepped closer to see the woman's face and was shocked with what he saw. There was no upper body, and yet it's moving and standing upright. He can see the exposed organs and its still beating veins, even without a heart to pump blood.
That's awful.
The end. That's it. It says, is the story hanging? Well, I was just telling you the personal accounts of my grandfather. He always ends the story on that part, and he keeps on telling me that story every night on my bed since he passed away on that gruesome night.
Wait, what? Since he passed away on?
It says he keeps on telling me that story every night on my bed since he passed away.
That gruesome night?
That gruesome night.
So, what? He died then?
That's what this guy says. I don't know if it was a true story or not, but it scared me.
How would he be told that story then? Like a ghost tells him it?
Also, I think it might be an error in English.
Oh, he always likes to tell me about the time he died.
But he never finishes it.
It's like, tell me the last part, grandfather.
The end.
Back to death. All right, so I have the aswang.
Which is different than a manananggal.
I think so.
I think. They're very similar, though.
So here's a breakdown of aswangs. They are shape-shifting evil spirits that live amongst humans. They originate in the Philippines. So it shifts between being an aswang. Sorry, didn't mean to tap the mic. An aswang, which is like a vampire mixed with a ghoul, with a witch, and a werewolf. It's all of those.
See, yeah, that's different than the manananggal.
So, unlike vampires, aswangs can walk in the daylight. They don't have... So, I mean, they kind of are vulnerable in the daylight because they don't have their supernatural powers, but they're basically just a normal human in the day. So, I wouldn't say, like, invulnerable either. They're just normal. So, but during the night, they possess the superhuman strength. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's a good reason just to stay indoors, people. You know?
Yeah.
Put on some, like, Hulu or Netflix. Lock your doors,
maybe watch
people.
your cocks fight.
Yeah. Do what you want, but... Okay.
Sorry, not a funny joke.
So one of the key features people notice about the human version of them, like one way you can tell if someone is an aswang, is they have bloodshot eyes during the day.
What if they're just...
Why do you think that is?
They've been crying a lot.
Because they stay up all night. They spend their nights looking for houses with dead bodies in it, because in Indonesia, holding a wake in your house is very common. So what they do is they steal the bodies to eat them. Ugh. And also for pregnant women.
Would the same be true then if someone was a werewolf?
What do you mean?
Like, you'd be able to tell if they were a werewolf or not because they had bloodshot eyes?
I mean, yeah. I'm sure there's some signs. More than just bloodshot eyes. Depending if it's the night after. They're probably, like, naked and, like...
Everyone at the e-cigarette store would be a freaking werewolf then, if that was... Or an aswang.
What? E-cigarette?
Yeah.
I'm not following the joke.
I don't know. Just cut that.
So, they only hunt...
I was just thinking that's where a lot of smokers go.
So?
So they don't have red eyes.
Oh.
So they smoke marijuana.
Oh, I thought you meant because they wake up naked. Because that's what I said. I said they wake up naked, and you're like, oh, they probably went to an e-cig shop. No. I was like, what?
No. I was thinking the medicinal herbs.
Okay. So, they only hunt at night. This is kind of creepy because they think that is when God is asleep.
Oh, that sounds really messed up.
Yeah.
It makes me creeped out, like, hearing you say that sentence.
Yeah, it is a creepy sentence. So, aswangs are...
Do you think God sleeps?
I don't even understand, like, anything. So, aswangs are usually women, and their feet are positioned backwards. They use vocal tricks to disguise themselves. Hey there, Jorky. And their most common trick is making them sound like they're walking away when in reality they're just walking closer.
So yeah, that is similar.
Footsteps going away means they're coming closer. And they do this to establish a false sense of safety. And I think this would make for a great horror movie creature.
I think this would be a really great horror movie creature.
So, during the day, they're seen as shy and quiet villagers. Also, another great part of it is there's a little bit of realness to them. And also, one of the key problems with horror movies is the monsters are too hard to kill, and it takes the fun out of it.
What if everyone in the village was an aswang?
I'll get into that. So, however, at night, they grow hungry, transform, bloodthirsty animals.
Yes.
I've kind of said that already. Kind of repetitive in the notes, sorry.
It's okay.
So... there are different forms of aswangs as well. You talked about these earlier. Tik-tiks and wak-waks.
Oh, yeah. Wak-wak is another name for the manananggal, too.
Yeah, and that's named after the sound they make when they're hunting. And that's when they transform.
Can you do a call for us? Did you ever read Rikki Tikki Tavi?
Oh, yeah. Vaguely.
Tick, 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 wak, wak, wak. It's Ricky Tikki Tavi. He's the aswang.
So, yeah, they turn into big birds.
Oh, yeah, I did remember hearing about that. Another source I read said that the tick-tick sound was from the buzzing and the flapping of the bird's wings that follows them.
I heard it's actually from the proboscis tongue clicking.
Ah.
So
maybe it's all of them.
This is what I found what was crazy, is they can transform other things. So not only are they shapeshifters, but they can shapeshift other things into objects.
Oh.
So what they'll do is they'll kill people and replace their bodies with either plants or tree trunks, and then they create a doppelganger of the person that returns home extremely sick and then dies in front of the family, so they think that they died of a natural way. Isn't that ridiculous?
You could really mess with someone though and like resurrect their loved one, and every day they just make the loved one go in and die again.
I'm feeling sick. Next day. Oh, I'm back again.
I'm back and I'm dead. And I'm back again and I'm dead.
So, one of the things about them is they're very, like, nomadic. They go from place to place. So they kill and then they move far away from the place. And they do that every time. Mm-hmm. And so they do this because if they did multiples, the town would just hunt for them, basically. Ugh. And then if they'd be found, they'd be killed immediately.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here's a really interesting one. Like totally different from any lore of any other monsters I've heard. So if an aswang marries a human, so this implies that they have emotions like a normal human does, at least to my knowledge. The partner will also become an aswang upon their wedding day.
Whoa.
Am I thinking Shrek plus aswang?
I now pronounce you aswang and aswang, and then the wife is like, wait, what? And then you both turn into aswangs.
Yeah, because of how discreet they are, they also hunt alone. Just as ways trying not to
Our aswangs, like mine, were usually female. My manananggal.
Yes, yeah, they're mainly female.
So then does the man turn into a female?
No, I mean, I think men can be. I just think it's mainly females.
Gotcha.
So these parts are crazy. In a way, I think an aswang is really, really crazy similar to a skinwalker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said, like, shape-shifting and
so a human can choose to turn into an aswang.
Oh.
It's a method that they do.
Oh, I read about this.
They tie a fertilized chicken egg to their stomach, and once the chicken is born and passes into their flesh, they must bury the shell in a bamboo tube with coconut oil and chicken dung. Then they will possess the powers of aswang.
Wow.
Spider-Man's like, I got bit by a spider, and now I can climb walls and shoot webs. And then the other guy's like, I had a chicken crawl into my stomach, and then I put its shell in a bamboo stick and filled it with poop. And now I've got, like, crazy powers, man.
I read another thing about the aswang that said that it wasn't actually a chicken egg. It's a black chick.
Wait.
A baby chicken.
No, that's the chick. The chick goes into you by the egg.
Yeah, they were saying that it had to be a black chicken that was basically the devil.
That's what happens. If you use the coconut oil and chicken dung, it turns into the black chick. It's a ceremony. And so, if an aswang dies, they can transfer their abilities to another person by holding their mouth close to them and letting the chick from inside them hop into their stomach of the other person.
Ew.
That's
like
crazy.
A evil Easter or something.
Yeah. So, like you said, they can be killed with garlic, salt, holy water, a crucifix, a rosary, a prayer, or decapitation.
Nice. I love me some good old decapitation.
So, took my joke away, but
sorry.
Stingray tails also, they do not like the sound of whipping in air because it reminds them of stingray tails.
Yeah, I was going to say something about, they said it could be fashioned into a whip.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Scare them away with it.
There must be a lot of stingrays in Indonesia, I guess.
That would make sense.
So, aswangs cannot...
Or SeaWorlds. Sorry.
Cannot step into temples, churches, mosques, any other holy place, consecrated grounds, or SeaWorlds.
Or SeaWorld.
If a doorway to a home or building has a special prayer posted by the entrance, then an aswang cannot walk through that doorway. It's like, come here, man. You won't. Chicken. You got a chicken inside you. You got a chicken. Cheep. So, a couple of physical appearance rundowns. They're like bald, ghoul-like creatures with pale gray skin, bat-like nose. Their eyes are silver, and it says that you can see the reflection of themselves upside down in it. And they have a fake glow in the dark. One of their most notable features is the black forked proboscis tongues.
Ooh, like a snake?
Like a butterfly.
A butterfly snake?
Yeah, that is able to stretch the length of their body.
Dang.
Its tongue is described to pierce flesh, and it can move solids in both directions through its tube.
Ew, that's so sick.
So they're also very nimble climbers. And people suspect that they're very light because of how they can climb walls and trees so fast.
Anything that can climb or crawl fast is disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't stand fast crawling or...
I hate that. It's such a disturbing sight.
So creepy.
And it says they have claws, and their limbs allow them to climb anything. They can even just hang straight from a ceiling. And that just gives me the picture of like waking up at night and seeing one.
Oh, you wake up and you look up
in
and
the
it's
corner
on the
of a
ceiling.
room. Oh gosh, it's like.
No, imagine like your alarm just went off. You're laying in bed like this on your back, and you open your eyes and you just see it, and it like, and it like shoots its proboscis tongue into your mouth.
They would be a great horror movie character.
Yeah, they would. Someone make this. Write this down.
So they're said not to be very strong, actually. They rely on agileness to pounce on their enemies and attack with their long claws. Because it said that someone, like, even kicked it away from them.
It kind of sounds like, have you seen the Alien vs. Predator movies?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like the little, is it alien creatures?
Xenomorph?
I don't know.
The
little creatures that, like, crawl and they're really fast, but they die really easy.
I don't know.
But
basically, okay, this is another thing I love about it, is too many monsters are overpowered. These aren't.
Good.
So their tongues have 3 specific purposes, and all of them are pretty dark. So one, they use their tongues to pierce the navel. Look at my notes.
Who knew
they have
tongues could
3
be
specific reasons. 1, 2.
Good.
So they use their tongues to pierce the navel of a pregnant woman and inject a chemical that tranquilizes her.
Oh.
Then it sucks the infant baby out of the room, but not before sucking up.
Out of the womb.
Is that not what I said?
You said room.
I meant to say womb. But not before sucking up a large amount of amniotic fluid. Good Lord.
Ew.
So normally this would cause the amniotic sac to break, causing a miscarriage. But the tongue works like a surgical tool and cuts the baby out.
Ew.
Traditionally, the eldest son of a female aswang must give up her first conceived child, or his first conceived child, for his mother to consume in order to extend her lifespan. But modern day...
Extend her lifespan?
Yeah. Modern day aswang find this really barbaric and usually don't practice this.
Kind of like...
So they're kind of getting, like, civilized in a way, it sounds.
Yeah, it sounds like they actually have, like, feelings and stuff.
Yeah, you know what it kind of reminds me of?
It makes me think of Skinwalkers a lot.
It made me think of Skinwalkers and Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know the words, but... Yes. Good. That was so bad.
They're said to make a terrifying ticking noise with their tongue, giving their alternate name.
What? Can I get a Google Translate of that?
Yeah, it's...
An English translate.
McChicken. Okay. So that's pretty much all we have for you today.
Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed our Tales of Darkness episode.
And if there's anyone out here who writes movies, we're not even asking for a cut.
No.
We just love movies.
I just want an entertaining movie about the aswang and the manananggal.
Yeah.
Manananggal.
Manananggal and the aswang in the swamps of Indonesia.
So like us on Facebook. We are Paranormal Partners.
PP.
We are streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Play. Or you can find us at paranormalaf.com.
Yeah.
We have merch on there for sale. We still have a few more tours and events that are coming up. And our giveaway is
on our Facebook page.
It ends October 8th. I'm actually not sure if this episode will come out before it ends. But if it does,
it will. It'll come out a day before. So you have a day, people.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Win it.
And may the aswang in the manananggal not get you tonight. Or any night. Bye, guys. Bye.